Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to easily animate with Google Slides. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start out with a blank slide. So we want to get rid of this. Easy way to do that, just go to Layout and find the blank layout. There we go. We have a blank slide. And from this point, you can choose to do whatever you want to animate. So I'm just going to show you some simple shapes that we can animate. So let's go with an arrow here. And I'm just going to draw my arrow just like this. And of course, you can make it whatever color you want. Let's make mine green. There you go. So I have my very first slide in my animation. If you're going to make a more complicated animation, you're going to be using a lot of slides here. The next important step you need to know is that you're going to duplicate this previous slide. And you can do that by right-clicking, or if you have a Chromebook, just tapping with 2 fingers at the same time. And we want to say duplicate slide right here. So that gives us exactly the same slide as we just had. And I'm going to start moving this arrow just a little bit at a time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to highlight it, and then I'm going to use my arrow key. And I moved it over 3 times there, so that looks good. And then we're going to do the same thing on that previous slide, say duplicate slide. And I'm just going to keep doing that. Make sure you're always duplicating your last slide, because if you start duplicating from the top again, obviously your arrow is going to start back at that beginning or whatever you're animating. So you can see that it took me 28 slides here just in order to get the arrow all the way to this point. And you can also add pictures in. We don't have to just use shapes. So I found a picture. I'm going to add it in here, paste it in, and it's a picture of this frog right here. Try to make sure you have a transparent background so that it looks like it's just that frog, no background to it. And we're going to put the frog right here. And another cool thing you can do to make something look like it's animating is increase the size of it just a little bit each time. So just like I was moving this arrow a little bit each time, I can now duplicate this new slide and increase the size of my little frog here just a little bit each time, and it'll look like it's growing slowly. So you could see that I'm ending right here at 58 slides, and my frog actually hopped over that arrow there until the arrow disappeared. And you could think of this animation like a flip book, how you'd flip through the pages really fast and it looks like an object is moving. That's going to be the same thing here, because we're going to flip through these really fast in a presentation and it'll look like it's animating. So if you do want something to move slower or pause, you can use the same slide over and over to make it look like that pause, even though it's still flipping through. So let's say I want a little ending slide here. I could just insert a text box right there, and we're going to say the end, exclamation point. Let's center that there, make it a lot bigger. Here we go. Now, I want that to appear, but I don't want it just to flash by. I want it to stay on the screen. So I'm just going to duplicate this slide and not do anything to it, not move anything around. That way, when we flip through this really fast, it'll look like it's just staying still for a while. All right, so that should be good enough. Now, the next part is you're going to be able to present this and it'll look like it's animating. So if I press present right here, and you can have pretty fast fingers for this and just click through as fast as you can. Oh, let's start back at the beginning though. So we're going to go to the very beginning, and I'm just going to press the arrow key as fast as I can at a consistent rate, and let's see how this animates. Here comes the frog getting bigger, jumping over, and the arrow's disappearing, the ends. But there is another way to do this to make it do it automatically. So you're going to want to go to File, publish to the web. And you'll see that you can auto advance the slides. Now the default is every 3 seconds. That would be very slow. So we are going to do publish right there. Are you sure you want to publish this? Okay. And you'll see that 3 seconds ends up in the link right here. Delay millisecond equals 3000. So every 3000 milliseconds, that would be 3 seconds. So if we just change this last number to something else, we can make it go faster. So something we could do is maybe try out 200 instead of 3000, and it should go a lot slower. So we are going to copy this, and we are going to paste it into our browser. But remember, we don't want this to be 3 seconds per slide. We want it to be a lot faster. So I'm going to try is 200. We'll see how fast that is. So here's our slideshow loaded up. It doesn't play automatically because I didn't choose that selection when we were copying the link. We just have to press the play button here and watch it go. So there's my arrow going. And the frog appears, gets bigger, and jumps over the arrow. And then we have the ends just staying there for a little bit. Now, if that wasn't fast enough, we can go back and paste the link again and make it even faster. So remember, we're talking about milliseconds here. We did 200. So let's make that a lot smaller, and let's say 50 milliseconds and see how fast that goes. So this one's a lot faster, obviously. You have to play around with the speed and see what's best for your animation. And of course, you can always use something like Screencastify. And when you're in this, you can record, and then you have your recorded video of your very own animation.